Okay, now we're into the real heart of it, empowered negotiation template. So, negotiation being one of the things that I'd say the most clients come to me for because it can be intimidating. We're not taught this stuff and it can just feel very stressful and we don't know what's going on, right? So, I made this template to help hopefully demystify it a bit for you and give you some concrete, way for you to structure these conversations that's hopefully less stressful and more empowered. Make sure to save your work first of all. Use this through Adobe. Don't try to do it the way I'm showing you now in my browser because you just read this carefully and do it, please. This is some preparatory thinking. Remember, if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. Worst you'll probably hear is no. Um, I'll leave you to read the rest of that yourself. But this is the first thing we're going to talk about when you're negotiating salaries, starting offer numbers, like a contract rate or something if you're an entrepreneur. This piece is going to be really important. A lot of times we don't know what numbers to use and whatnot, but I created this calculator, which is also available to anyone for free on my website, but it's only the calculator. So that's at embracechange.nyc/calculator. You can tell your friends, but it's not going to include this whole bundle, which you just invested in. For negotiating pay, this is pretty cool. If I do say so myself, you're going to put in your rock bottom number. So let's just say you want to make sure that you make 100,000 in your next job. And let's say their initial offer is like, I don't know, 70,000. 70,000. I think that's correct. So once you plug in these numbers, it's going to spit out these results for you. So the first counter offer that you want to give, like and there's going to be way more detail about how to do this down here. I don't want you throwing out the first number if at all you can avoid it. But once you get to that point, like once they've actually given you their initial offer, for example, then you know where to go next if they're offering you 70 and you want at least 100, right? That means your first counter offer has to be the range of 120.1K to 124.6. Okay, these are odd numbers and stuff because it's on purpose, it's strategic. I can tell you way more about it, at another time. But there's a reason for all of this, and this is all based on the data from my clients as women of color negotiating their own salary or raises and stuff like that. So this is based on that data specifically. It's not a guarantee of result, but this is a helpful rule of thumb type tool for you. Then if you have to counteroffer again, which you likely will because 121 and 124.6 is pretty far from 70, then your second counteroffer is going to come in at 110 and $50. And then the third like that. And then your final counteroffer is your rock bottom at 100. But usually you can kind of not have to go through all the counteroffers. This is just to make sure that you can get at least 100. So that's the calculator. Check it out. Let me know if you have questions. This is the part about where you're going to apply regardless of what you're negotiating for. If you're negotiating for like different set of boundaries, different scope of work, opportunities, you're going to put your three main points here. Like I bring XYZ expertise to this role, or my comp has always been less than my peers to do the same work. I've consistently exceeded expectations, etc. So you're going to put your points here. Let's say, I'm awesome. I've got over 10 years experience doing this. And I don't know, like I've been consistently um exceeding expectations. Wow. Expectations. Okay, so there's a reason I typed these in. Y'all see in a minute. Before you start anything too, I want you to make sure you have all the information that you need because a lot of times I talk to clients and it's like, well, what did they say about this? Or what's the deal with that? And they don't know, and it's not their fault. It's not your fault. But we're just often not given all the info, right? So you got to make sure you gather everything first. Otherwise, if you don't know everything that's out there, you're going to either walk into a trap or there'll be a pitfall or something. You'll kind of pitch it into a corner. So I don't want that to happen. Use this checklist to make sure you have all the things that you need to know. This is specifically for job offers, but you can adapt it. And bonus, if you don't have all the information, if you realize, oh God, I don't know half these things, you can actually use this negotiation script worksheet portion to get this information. So it's kind of meta. All right, let me walk you through this real quick. You're going to fill in the blanks here for, hi, Joe, or whatever. Thanks for being willing to talk to me about my starting package. you know, you're going to fill in these things. I'm really excited about being a part of this team and doing this innovative work. What I want to discuss with you though is the starting salary package. As you know, okay, so this is what I typed in all those things up top because look, it automatically filled in down here. So you can just pick one of these. You can copy paste it in if you grabbed all the text. And then that will help you fill this in even faster. And again, this, your first counter offer filled in using the numbers that we used up here if you are negotiating salary or some type of starting offer or raise. Okay, so then on the next page, you're going to see the whole thing filled in, which is so exciting. Don't forget, if you are doing the salary is 120 to 1.46. I think I got that correct. Ooh, okay. That was interesting. Don't hit backspace so many times like I just did. Okay, so anyway, I filled this in here and you'll see it auto-populated down here. Now, this is kind of the basic script. You'll notice it's very short, and that's because, like I said before, you're supposed to let them talk for more than half of the time. So you don't want to be saying too much. You're just going to say the basic thing, silence, okay? Silence. Wait for them to respond. You are going to then use these little boxes depending on what kind of response you get back. If it's a yes type answer, if it's a maybe type answer, if it's a no type answer. And look, all these things have auto-populated here, which I think is so cool. Anyways, this will walk you through it. And your numbers are auto-populated at the bottom again for you. Print out the last two sheets for your actual script. And very important, practice this before you go in, please. You will have the best results if you practice. Do a voice memo at the very least. Practice in front of a mirror. If you have a supportive friend or if you have a coach, talk it through with them a few times at least that you sound confident going into the conversation. You got this.